Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about, do you need to do cardio to reduce the amount of fat that you gain whilst bulking? So thank you to Philippa for asking this question. Now I'm going to talk about the conventional way of bulking and what the research says, and then going to talk about cardio's role in that. So the conventional thinking is you have to be in a calorie surplus, so eat more than you burn, to build muscle. Now the research that I've been reading doesn't support that. I'm going to link into 4 studies in the comments. But they all show people or subjects in a calorie deficit that actually gained lean tissue whilst losing fat, providing 2 things. So the 2 things were a high enough protein intake and weight training. So if you do those 2 things, you can be in a calorie deficit and still gain lean tissue. So kind of flies in the face a little bit of how we're taught you have to be in a calorie surplus to gain that muscle. So in answer to your question, Philippa, you don't have to do any cardio at all because you don't have to overeat and therefore you won't store fat. In terms of how much protein, well, the research was saying it was about 2.4 grams per kilogram. So looking about 3 times the amount that's recommended as daily intake. So let's say 60 kilogram person, looking at about 180 grams, which is quite a lot of protein. In terms of weight training, then you're looking at maybe 4 to 5 sessions a week of weight training. If you do those 2 things, the actual calorie intake in terms of how many calories doesn't matter too much. So therefore, should you do cardio? Well, if you love eating and you want to eat loads, and that would then put you into a surplus, which would then increase body fat gain, then do cardio to mitigate that. You could do some NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, i.e. get off your backside and go for a walk. It doesn't have to be cardio, you don't have to go out running or do cycling, but just be more active. You'll burn more calories, therefore you can eat more. Also, I would recommend cardio if you love doing cardio or you want to kind of increase your fitness or maintain fitness at the same time as building muscle. So in that respect, I would say do some cardio. Thing to bear in mind though, as you do that cardio, you're going to increase calorie expenditure. If you make that calorie deficit too big, it's going to start to affect you in a way that it might harm your resistance training because you can't recover, you lack energy, your injury risk potentially will increase, you might kind of reduce your immune system or lower your immune system so you're more susceptible to illness. Generally kind of ratty, poor sleep. So we don't want to make a huge calorie deficit because that's going to affect everything else. But a small deficit will still cause a positive increase in lean tissue. So I hope that answers your question. Just to summarize, you don't have to overeat and therefore store fat to build muscle. You can eat at maintenance or even slightly below in a deficit and still gain that lean tissue. The 2 important things are protein, adequate protein feeds, and weight training. Do those 2 things, there's no need to gain fat and you can still get ripped and get your beach body. So I hope that answers your question. Have a good evening and I'll speak to you all soon.